Welcome everybody, good morning. Have a good Erev Shabbat, good Friday morning. I hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving yesterday. Thanksgiving meal, courtesy of Gurwin. And everyone should continue to do well and to be safe and stay safe. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Ashoreis, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malchei amlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Ashoreis, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malchei amlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom. Malachei Elyon, mi melech malchei amlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, mi melech malchei amlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu L'Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, mi melech malchei amlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu L'Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, mi melech malchei amlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeichem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, mi melech malchei amlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeichem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, mi melech malchei amlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As we approach Hanukkah, the wonderful day of light, we'll speak a little bit about the Hanukkah story itself and what it represents. As mentioned before, the Hanukkah story represents an inner desire, an inner will. The Hebrew word for desire is ratzon, our wanting, our yearning, really not being happy with the status quo. You see, at the time of the Hanukkah story, the Greeks were invading the Jewish population in Jerusalem, but not in the regular way of invasion. It wasn't a situation where they were fighting with the Jews, they're even hurting the Jews. They just wanted to try to influence them to follow their culture and leave the culture of Judaism. And when someone is not necessarily attacked physically, they feel that the person across from them is, maybe they mean well, they're nice people, and they're not really trying to do anything wrong. So they befriend them. Yet over time, over a number of years, you have the wrong friends in the wrong places. We all know you do get influenced that way as well. And it came to a point in time when the Jewish people were being very heavily influenced by their surrounding areas, and the culture of Judaism was being completely lost. As mentioned before, to the point they had the temple. Every day in our prayers we pray for the temple, for the third temple. Yet the second temple was standing and was not in use at that time. And a small group of priests, the Kohanim, the Chashmonaim, they went and they said to themselves, this is ridiculous. We have the temple and we're not even using it. We have to do something. And they started a small war to fight back, trying to push back the Greek influence. And miracle after miracle kept on happening, and they're getting stronger and stronger until the Jews around them realized, hey, obviously God is with our brothers, the priests, in this, and we should join them as well. To a point where they're able to literally push the Greeks out of Jerusalem and end the influence of the Greeks to Jerusalem, and they all came around and realized, without service of God, without our connection with God, what do we really have? Because that's ultimately the end of the day. That's the most important thing in our life. So it comes to this element of wanting and yearning for something, yearning in a greater place, and that's really what a light represents: a fire, a light flicking. The fire itself is nothing of substance, but it has the will to stand and to stand. As long as there's oil left, as long as there's wax left in the candle, the fire will continue, which is our declaration to God. As long as we're alive, as long as we're here, we'll continue to fight on your behalf. Lecha dodi likras kala b'nei Shabbos nekabela. Lecha dodi likras kala b'nei Shabbos nekabela. Shamor v'zachar b'dibur echad. Heshmi yahanu kel ham yuchad. Hashem echad u'shmo echad. Shemo seferet v'letzila. Lecha dodi likras kala b'nei Shabbos nekabela. Likras Shabbos Gurwin Healthcare Hi mekar haveracha meirosh mikedem nisucha. Sof maaseh b'machshavat chila. Lecha dodi likras kala b'nei Shabbos nekabela. Boi b'shalom ateres bala. Gam berina uvitzrahala. Tochem unei am segula. Boi kala lecha dodi likras kala b'nei Shabbos nekabelam. In this week's Torah portion, we learn about the story of our forefather Yaakov, as he married his two wives, Rachel followed by Leah. Now, why did he marry two wives? Well, originally the plan was to marry Rachel, who Yaakov first fell in love with, and yet after her father Lavan tricked him into marrying Leah, he later on married a second wife as well, and together they had the children that became the 12 tribes of the Jewish people. And the story is very interesting, as the Torah explains, and it gets to a point where Lavan, the trickster, keeps trying to trick Jacob with his wages. Jacob is a shepherd, and they have a deal to make money, to a point where Jacob says to Lavan at one point, you've tricked me over 100 times in business. Imagine trying to do business with someone, and literally every day of the week he comes around, he tricks you over here, changes the business over here, on and on. Yet Jacob kept his composure. Jacob knew ultimately it's in God's hand. And when he showed Lavan, he said to him, listen, for the past years you've been trying to trick me, past 2 years you've been trying over and over and over again to trick me, and all the times God's on my side. You should learn that lesson itself, that you may try to hurt me, but as long as I have God on my side, he will always protect me. And Lavan eventually understands that lesson, and he sends Jacob off with his family, understanding that yes, at the end of the day, if you connect to God in the way that you can, he will always protect you. Adon olam asher molach b'terem kol yitzir nivra li'es nasa b'chefso kol azai melech shemo nikra v'yacharei kechlos hakol levahado yimlach nora v'ohaya v'ohoveh V'yihye b'sifara v'hoechad v'yein sheni lehamshila lehach v'hira v'li reishit v'li sachlis v'lohoz v'hamisra v'hokeli v'chai goatli v'tzorchev li b'yeis nasa v'onisi umanosli Minas kosi biyom ekra biyado av kid ruchi Yesi shan v'yahira v'yim ruchi geviyasi ado shemli v'lo ira. Everyone should have a happy and healthy Shabbat and a great week. We'll see everybody next week.